If you've been following me, you know that my son was born early. That's him over there. He's taking a nap. He was born at 37 weeks and 4 days. My son is 2 weeks old today. It was Monday, the 27th, I believe. My family and I went to dinner. My husband was at work. We went to dinner, like buffet, at a local casino, and we decided to stay at the hotel so that my mom can, gamble for a couple hours. For some reason, we didn't leave till super late, like midnight, and I don't know if this has something to do with it, but I wore these shoes that I typically never wore before, and I had a hard time putting them on. So when I was putting my shoes back on, I had noticed that, I was like, something weird happened. Like a little bit of water came out. And I was like, I better go to the bathroom. Looked, and then it was just like a little bit of water. I was like, oh, maybe my water broke. And then I went outside and I told my family that I think my water broke. And then all of a sudden, I swear, it was like Niagara Falls. They say it's not like the movies, but it's definitely like the movies because, my amniotic fluid was just like pouring out of me. I was admitted directly to the hospital. I called my husband. Well, my brother called my husband. So my husband got all our stuff ready at home. Luckily, I made a list. I was watching, I forgot whose vlog, but um, they had the idea of like packing things, making a list of last minute items and putting the list directly on top of the suitcase. My husband met us there. It was about maybe 12:30 in the morning of February 28th. Checked out and everything. They said I was ready. 1.5 centimeters dilated. I originally didn't have a birth plan, but we decided that we wanted to do natural, but I guess we didn't educate ourselves that much, and that kind of caused a bit of frustration for my husband because he was all like, no Pitocin and no inducing and all this, all that. It's like, I went as far as I could. I think I went up to maybe 4 centimeters, and I wasn't dilating as much. They had to induce me, and so they started the Pitocin, and I was like, okay, let me see if I can get through this without any pain medicine, and I was just having a hard time. I didn't even finish watching my childbirthing video with my husband. I think we were like halfway through. Luckily, they already discussed breathing because breathing is very, very important. But that really didn't get me through how intense these contractions were getting and how fast they were getting intense. I basically was begging for, like some instant relief. So they gave me fentanyl and I got half. It made me a little woozy, but I was like, it took the edge off, but I was still feeling the contractions. So I really wanted an epidural. We didn't know that being induced and having ruptured membranes, like there was a time frame. You're more prone to infection. The baby's more at risk because it's dripping amniotic fluid and there could be not enough fluid. I was still leaking until the baby came out. The anesthesiologist was in surgery, so I had to wait. I was freaking waiting. It seemed like forever because I was begging for epidural because they say that they won't give you an epidural if you can't really handle it, if you're moving a lot. And I was getting very restless and I was just having a really hard time. So finally he came and I was so thankful. The procedure of the epidural was pretty easy and it was a big relief. Apparently I was having huge contractions. I didn't even know it. It was 10 o'clock at night. I was ready to push. I was already dilated enough. The doctor kind of gave me an ultimatum that either I can start pushing the baby out, or I would have to have a C-section because it was getting close to that 24-hour period. I think it's between 18 hours and 24 hours. I was pushing for a good 2 hours. I really didn't know how to push. Let me let you guys know that you guys need to educate yourselves on how to push, because apparently you're not supposed to push through your face, and I was straining like super bad. You kind of have to push from your pelvic floor. It's really intense. The pain was really intense, even with the epidural. I was on PCA, so I kept pressing the button and it was on lockout. Eventually, the doctor finally came in, and he was like, you know what, we need to get this baby out. This was probably a little bit after midnight. He's like, we need to get this baby out. We have two options. You can either, we'll try a vacuum, and he gave me the risk and consequences. And then he said, or cesarean delivery. I was kind of like over it already too, of pushing, because I thought that I didn't get anywhere. But the doctor went ahead and we did the vacuum. I usually push 3 times in a contraction. This time I pushed an extra one, and my baby came out, and it was such a relief. You forget the pain once you see your baby, and that's definitely true. So they took my baby, and we weren't able to do skin to skin because he was having a little bit of respiratory problems. So he went to the NICU for a couple hours, but he returned to us, and he was doing really well with us. A little bit of trouble with their temperature regulation throughout our stay, but we were able to leave the hospital normally. We were there for 24 hours for observation, and we left, I forget what day, the first, March 1st in the afternoon. My baby had a little bit of jaundice that has pretty much gone away, and he is doing very well. Passed out, but yeah. My baby's doing good, and we're very happy. And as for me, I did have a little bit of pain after. I did tear a little bit, second degree tear. I've been able to recover, and I've been doing really well so far. And my belly has gone down, my uterus has been contracting, and I think that's about it. I mean, me and the baby are good. My husband and I are trying to, figure out a routine, and I think we have already, and I think that's about it. So that's my birth story. I feel like I didn't cover everything, and I feel like I feel like I'm having the longest outer body experience ever, because it doesn't feel like I went through that, and I did. So that's about it. All right, see you guys later.